So if I just want to take this library out, that's not going to be very difficult a task. It's... Burn! Burn! Alright, anyway, now say I don't want it to go... I'm going to turn this into ice mode. I'm going to shoot ice. Of course, it's a little late. It's already burning to junk. Yeah, there's no stopping that. It's just burning. I've got ice arrows, and I am going to shoot... I'm going to shoot this zombie. Well, that killed it. It's a really powerful arrow. I forgot I put power 5 on this sucker. It's the most powerful bow you can get. Alright. So let's just, like, lob one. So he's frozen. Of course, he can still shoot me. But that spider can't move. Okay, now he can move. And now he doesn't... Now he's mad at the skeleton. But ice arrows will freeze anything in place, if it doesn't happen to kill it. And also, ice arrows have the ability to affect the world. So, if you shoot, say, water, it'll actually freeze it into ice. And a good 3x3 there. And one thing this bow could do, at least at the moment, is it could freeze cobblestone into stone, and it could also freeze stone into stone bricks. So this is a nice stone brick maker. This is how I made my base. And so this is what I'm saying, you're going to go through a lot of arrows, because it's just way too much fun. Way too much fun. So I'm going to go to the Nether, take my bow to the Nether. We're going to have a little bit of fun here, because in the Nether, ice arrows are bound to be really useful. Alright, now right here, this is kind of cool. One of the things you could do is just shoot this up there, and just plug up the lava, and down it goes. That's so much fun. It'll actually turn lava into cobblestone, so if you want to make like a little bridge or an area to walk over, you could just shoot some ice arrows over here, and then you've got a nice little walk area. The nice thing about this is it will also one-shot that stupid ghast. Of course, these force rods now function interdimensionally. Alright, now you may or may not have noticed that I'm wearing something called force armor. Of course, it doesn't show because it has an upgrade called camo. Now, I can make force armor out of force ingots. So, to demonstrate, I'm just going to make a chest plate here. Now, when you make this, you can just equip it, and it's alright. It's decent protection. It's not quite as... It's better than iron armor, but it's not quite as good as bronze armor from IC2. Good lord, bronze armor is beefy. So, it's relatively nostalgic, maybe familiar looking. Dun-dun-dun. No, screw that. And this is pretty good damage reduction. Each piece of this actually reduces all damage by like 5%, adding up to about 20%. So an additional 20% reduction. Now that's just inherent, but another thing that's inherent in force armor is the ability, if you have at least 3 pieces, to just be able to punch stuff. Like it's monk gear. So I can just punch stuff. But as you can see, it is damaging the armor when I punch things. So the armor is used as a tool when you do this. Now if I were to say put a little bit of liquid force into one of these, it would of course recharge it and start using the liquid force as fuel, because force armor as well is an I-force consumer. So you can extend the life of your armor if you wish. Now, it'd be pretty pointless to do that for this armor that doesn't have any upgrades to it, but let's put something on this armor. What can we put on armor? Well, for one thing, you can put speed on armor. Speed on the force armor will increase your overall speed by just a bit. Now, with 4 pieces, this is pretty significant. You could also put wing on your gear. Now, this is normal Minecraft movement. It's pretty slow. If you put one piece of speed gear on, you move a bit faster. And you also jump a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher. Now, the nice thing about wing now is if you have even 1 piece, you don't take any fall damage at all. That's new. What's also new is you could double jump. Now, with only 1 piece of wing gear, the double jump is pretty pitiful, but it is present. Now, also notice that I am automatically walking up these 1-block inclines. Now, that is thanks to wing. If you want to disable that, just hold shift. In fact, if you hold shift, you also don't jump any higher. Let's put a second piece on. Walk a bit faster, jump a bit higher. My double jump is getting respectable here. Now, when you get up to 4 pieces on here, you actually move pretty quickly. Your double jump's pretty nice. And with even 1 piece of wing on, you can actually slow your fall if you wish. Now, to fly with wing gear, even with just 1 piece, you sneak, jump, and right-click at the same time. And it initiates flight. And to stop flying, you just double-tap space. While flying, your wing armor takes damage. So, with the normal durability of this armor, you can actually only fly for a few minutes straight before they would break. Now, I actually have a good amount of liquid force in here, so it has several times the durability stored, so I could fly for, I don't know, 10, 15 or so minutes. There's one more feature with wing that I gotta say. If you have wing armor on you, or you have a vanilla speed potion, you can skate across water. Just skate right across it at a you're running around at the speed of sound, you got places to go, you gotta break a bunch of blocks. Screw that. Sonic the Hedgehog, the original blue dart. Now, the sturdy coefficient on this armor is pretty boss, especially when you combine it. The amount of damage that you take on sturdy depends on your config setting. By default, it's nerfed a bit to the point where you're gonna have to watch yourself. Now, sturdy decreases the overall damage you take from all sources, even sources that are supposed to negate armor. Let's see if I can demonstrate this. Let's find some monsters at nighttime. Hi, zombie. Oh, with a sword. No, you have a shovel. Bonk. Bonk. Okay, so they're doing a little bit of damage to me. Not a ton. Now, it's worth noting now that sturdy coefficient, when it takes damage for you, it gives you a significant amount of exhaustion. So what's going to happen is, see, I just got hungry twice, and I just ate 2 pieces of bacon from my Baconator. So these guys are doing significant amounts of damage. If not to me, they're doing it to my hunger meter there. So that armor's pretty good, and if you're wondering right now, I am actually using the setting where where sturdy is buffed, and there's an arrow in my eye! There's an arrow in my eye! You jerk! Now that's basically DartCraft in a nutshell. However, I did take the liberty of integrating with several mods. I'm just gonna keep talking here with this arrow in my eye. Now, you've seen some Forestry integration, but to see some of the under integration, I'm actually going to have to go to a test world, because I just don't have everything set up in that legitimate play world. Now, this is a test world, and as you can see, I've got force armor. However, this iteration is actually imbued with IndustrialCraft charge. The upgrade I use for that is Charge 2, but suffice it to say, if you can manage to get yourself some charged force armor, it's going to be pretty useful, and it's going to last you a very long time. Now, it's worth noting that the chest plate can actually supply items with power. So if I get, say, a mining drill, it'll actually power the mining drill and keep it charged. So it's nice. You can have your armor and eat it too. Don't eat your armor. Now, while I'm in the chest world and cheating, I may as well have some fun with this really cool command that I made for basically this purpose. There we go. Give me a chest with all this sweet junk in it. This cheat spawns you basically everything you need to really test DartCraft out. I recommend that you use this cheat in a test world first to give it a go. Tons of DartCraft tools in here, and even my patented DartCraft utility belt. Of course, already filled with the rods that I use, and a Baconator and the Ender Pack. The significance of the Ender Pack inside a utility belt, by the way, is that you can access your Ender chest by hotkey. Continuing on the IC2 integration, you can actually upgrade a mining drill with force to get a power drill. So the power drill is exactly like the mining drill, but it's blue, which makes it better. No, that's not the other. That's not it. Don't worry. No, the real power of this drill is when you start to socket it. And you socket it by using upgrade cores. That's right. there's another use for upgrade cores. You remember these things. Well, it turns out you can upgrade them into Force Infuser with one of various upgrades. Let's say speed. We'll put speed 2 on here. Now, the upgrade cores can only take one type of upgrade at a time, just like the force rods. But this now made a core of speed 2. Now, what I do to socket this guy into the power drill is I shift or right-click the power drill. It brings up a nice little interface. There are 3 slots. Just put a courage. There we go. Power speed 2. And it shows on the power drill that it has speed 2. And it's going a heck of a lot faster, even with just speed 2. Now, keep in mind though, speed is actually going to use a heck of a lot more EU. Now, these cores don't stack, and you only have 3 slots, so if I want to put something else in there, I'll have to choose what I want carefully. I'm going to put Luck 4 in there. And now I actually have Fortune 4 on this power drill. So it's an IC2 drill that actually has Fortune on it. Now that's not all. I could put Silk Touch if I want. And now I can get, say, grass blocks or stone really easily. But then say I don't want Silk Touch anymore. Well, I can't take this out. These are sockets. These are like permanent? Well, not really. If you shift right-click on one of these sockets, it'll delete it, and it's gone. But the good news is you could put something else in there, which is great because I actually want, let's say, heat. If I put heat on this guy, it's actually going to smelt when it can. So it just smelted that gold into a gold ingot for a good amount more EU than usual. But I don't want heat on this guy. That's inefficient. I should be grinding these things. So I'm going to put a core of grinding in there. Now it has grinding speed 2 and fortune 4. Oh, there we go. Look at all that. Tons of gold powder, which we can make into chunks. This is one of my personal favorites, I gotta say. Grinding speed 2, fortune 4. Now, of course, this is a DartCraft tool, so it does have area mode. Just right-click to change it, and boom! Area mode. And it drained several thousand EU out of that. In one hit, one fell swoop. But that's not all! Oh wait, it is all. Wait, no it isn't. It isn't. You can actually do the exact same thing with a chainsaw. Makes a power saw. Now the power saw has the same attributes as a chainsaw, although you could defend with it for some reason. Yeah, because that looks right. And if you shift right click it, you can also socket it. Now you can put various things on this. I'm going to go ahead and put grinding, luck 4, damage 5. Alright. Grinding, damage 5, and looting 4. Now if I were to get some zombies, I can grind some zombie chunks off of these guys. With the power saw, which is using EU instead of liquid force if you want to go that way. And you can make various iterations of these and socket them in different ways. Or you can just make tons of sockets and swap them out, which is pretty darn inefficient. But this is just an IndustrialCraft way of dart crafting. Now, a few other IC2 integration items is you can craft electronic circuits out of force ingots now, and going along with the spirit of the new mixed metal ingot recipe using plates, I added a recipe using force plates that gets twice as much that you have to use the forge hammer for, which is of course the new way they're doing things. And that's about it for the IC2 integration. But these 2 power tools can take the place of any of the force tools. You can put basically any upgrade on there that you can put on the other force tools. Although, I may have missed a few. Alright, now forestry support. So the forestry multi-farm is capable of growing forest trees automatically, which is the only way I actually support at the moment. Also in forestry, you can craft impregnated frames, which require seed oil, of course. You can turn them into proven frames with force sticks, because these things are expensive enough as it is. Alright, now I got one last feature, and it's a BuildCraft feature, and it actually also has to do with item cards. Now these are force transport pipes, and you can tell so because they're very glowy, and also you could right-click on them and it opens this really weird GUI. Now what you can do with this slot is you can actually put an item card inside it, and based on what type of card is in there, it will show a different GUI and do different things. Alright, now let's say we wanted to automatically craft mine carts, right? Alright, we just make a card for that. and we could put that in a force pack and it would work that way. But you could also put this inside a force pipe and it'll show with non-interactable slots the contents of the card that's inside this force pipe. Now if we were to put some iron ingots in here, we'd notice that they'd come through and they'd get stuck in this pipe, in this buffer. Now once this buffer builds up enough to craft something, it's going to craft its result. And what's going to happen is it's going to wait for items to not be going through it so that it can safely push items on and avoid a really nasty concurrent modification exception. And then it will send the items on. So these items are about done, and off they go. It's starting to send the minecarts off. Now this buffer is finite, so you have to route this properly, and frankly, what this is best for is just, say, compressing all of one thing into a block or something else. But I also added a little bit of support in this buffer. To keep it from overflowing, it will only store up to 128 of any given item. Now we can see that 4 iron is hanging out in this buffer. With this particular setup, that's the most that could be hanging out in this buffer. And while you can't actually put things into the buffer, you can take things out if you wish. So you gotta be a little smart with these, because these are not the end-all crafting, automatic crafting junk. Now let's say we also have a transmutation card. Now we've got all these crappy minecarts we found in dungeons, and we want to take the minecarts and we want to transmute them into iron ingots. Alright? So we're going to put this guy right here, and it's going to transmute minecarts into iron ingots. So if we put minecarts in here, they come through, and when they reach here, there's a little animation and they just transmute. So we put 10 iron in there. It's going to craft the carts, and then it's going to push them forward and transmute them, and we have our iron back. Now, is that useful? No. But as demonstration, that's what it can do. Get out of here, you slimy jerk. To the stratosphere, that's right. Now this last item card is made with... This item card is very persnickety about what it accepts. Now you can see that anything that's on the ore dictionary that has more than one item listed for that name, in this instance ingot copper, is actually going to show its name in here, and you can put it inside the item card. Now what this is going to do is, if I say ingot copper here, it's going to, what's going to happen is any copper going through that is not already that type of copper is going to get transmuted into the other type. So this is effectively a way to transmute forge labeled equivalent items back and forth in an automated fashion. That's just fun to watch. Sparkles. Where did you come from? Get out of here, you jerk. Force punched! Alright, now that's basically it for DartCraft. There's tons of little features I didn't mention, but you can play with it and figure it out. I think I'm just gonna go and have at that Ender Dragon and see how quickly it could go down with DartCraft. Why not? It's a good way to end the stuff. The end? Oh, that's not right. These guys shouldn't spawn here. I will fix that later. Oh, there's Ender Tots. I almost forgot about these little jerks. I added Ender Tots. They're baby Endermen. And they spawn parrots. Angry parrots. There's a challenge. If anybody could bottle the Ender Dragon, I'll make you a feature. Okay, there's the Ender Dragon up here somewhere. Let's just end him really quickly.